Hello learners, this is Habiba with Excel with me. If you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. Let's start today's class, that is Education Research in Education, with the subtopic Designs in Educational Research. In the previous class, we understood what is designing of the research. We understood what is a descriptive research design and experimental design we have understood. Now in this class we are going to understand about the historical design, that is how you are going to do the historical research design we are going to discuss. Now the purpose of a historical research design is to collect, verify and synthesize evidence from the past to establish facts that defend or refute your hypothesis. Now why we do this historical research design? Because to collect and verify and synthesize whatever evidences of the past you have collected to establish some facts which can defend the hypothesis, whichever hypothesis you made. It uses secondary sources and a variety of primary documentary evidence such as logs, diaries, official records, reports, archives and non-textual information like maps, pictures, audio and visual recordings. So when what kind of things you will use in this historical design? Secondary sources, that means somebody already have written maybe related to that. Secondary things you will take, not like in descriptive questionnaires, they are the primary ones. Directly you will prepare a questionnaire and give it to the subject so that you can collect the evidence. Here in historical, what happens? You will collect the secondary sources, maybe of primary documentary evidence such as logs or anecdotes or diaries or official records, reports, whatever non-textual information, maps maybe you will refer, pictures, audio tapes or visual clippings or visual recordings, you will take it as evidence. The limitation is that the sources must be both authentic and valid. Obviously, the sources should not be duplicated. The original sources should be taken for the research design. The historical research design is unobtrusive. The act of research does not affect the results of the study. Obviously, whatever historical design is there, it will not affect the result of the study. So the historical approach is well suited for trend analysis. What was the trend in the past and in the present? Historical records can add important contextual background required to more fully understand and interpret a research problem. Now there is no possibility of researcher subject interaction that could affect the findings. Obviously you will not have, if you are doing any research related to the past events, you will not find any subject in front of you to ask or to prove your findings or to have your findings, to effect your findings. So the researcher will take only the past evidences, already recorded things. Historical sources can be used over and over to study different research problems or to replicate a previous study. Again and again we can do the same thing to have proper and correct conclusions here. The ability to fulfill the aims of your research are directly related to the amount and quality of documentation available to understand the research problem. So, since historical research relies on data from the past, there is no way to manipulate it to control for contemporary context. Like in experimental, we can control or manipulate the things, but here in historical research, totally dependent on the past data, so there will be no manipulation here or no control. Then interpreting historical sources can be very time consuming. Obviously you have to bring so much data of the past, it will take so much time, also time consuming this historical research. The sources of historical materials must be archived consistently to ensure access. Original authors bring their own perspectives and biases to the interpretation of past events, and these biases are more difficult to ascertain in historical resources. Obviously, due to the lack of control over external variables, historical research is very weak with regard to the demands of internal validity. So lack of control will be there of external variables in this historical research, so it can become a little weak with regard to the demands of internal validity. It rare that the entirety of historical documents needed to fully address a research problem is available for interpretation. Therefore, gaps need to be acknowledged. Now let's conclude this topic. Research design is the framework of research methods and techniques chosen by a researcher. Obviously, these are what is a research design? It's a framework chosen by the researcher. The design allows researcher to refine or perfect of time on research methods that are suitable for the subject matter and set up their studies up for success. The design of a research topic explains the type of research that may be descriptive, experimental, or historical. There are three main types of designs for research, that is data collection, measurement, and analysis. Now, the type of research problem an organization is facing will determine the research design and not vice versa. The design phase of a study determines which tool to use and how they are used. An impactful research usually creates a minimum bias in data and increases trust in the accuracy of collected data. A design that produces the least margin of error in experimental research is generally considered the desired outcome. So we come to the end of this session. If you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Thanks for your attention and time. Happy learning.